This video is sponsored by Brilliant. Even though it's been a term for longer than many of you have lived, people even within the Pokemon fandom are a bit confused about what being a mythical Pokemon entails. Someone will ask, "Hey, what's your favorite legendary Pokemon?" And the other will respond, "Oh, it's Zarude," because they're some kind of weirdo who likes Zarude. Oh, Zarude doesn't count, it's not a legendary, it's a mythical. Your brain is mythical. Look, all I'm saying is the TMNT should be the Teenage Mutant Ninja Tortoises because of their flat feet and land-dwelling nature. That's the difference between turtles and tortoises after all. Yes, but tortoises are a smaller specific group within turtles, so the TMNT are still in fact turtles. All tortoises are turtles, but not all turtles are tortoises. Your brain is a stinking tortoise. To the layman, it's the same deal with mythical Pokemon. Mythical Pokemon are a smaller group within legendary Pokemon. Look, let's make a Venn diagram. You got your mythical Pokemon. Bam. You got your box legendaries. Bam. They don't touch, besides Arceus now, I guess. You've got Arcanine, which I don't understand. It'll be labeled not legendary, which includes all the pseudo-legendaries, but Arcanine is still separate from them. And then you can add in all the rest of the legendary Pokemon, and that circle completely encapsulates the others we've talked about besides the pseudos and Arcanine. Look, I don't know why they called you a legendary that one time, but get over it. At least to me, and perhaps to the common man, once you leave the immediate Pokemon fandom, legendary Pokemon encapsulates pretty much all mythicals too. And I mean, at that point, why even specify a difference? I remember back in the times of Gen 4 and 5, loads of people were complaining about just how Pokemon suddenly had way too many legendary Pokemon. What? No, Shaman, Manaphy, Phione, Darkrai, and Arceus, and Meloetta, and Victini, and Genesect are all mythical Pokemon! That's completely different! Shows what you know, stupid! Oh, Phione isn't considered mythical by all. Wait, what? But it's like the baby of Manaphy. Why wouldn't it be? Well, it's not in the Gen 5 art that was released to celebrate all of the mythical Pokemon at the time. But it's like directly linked to one. Yeah, like how Darkrai is the other half of the Lunar Duo, but Cresselia is legendary. Oh, I'm beginning to see why this distinction is silly. Actually, not quite. In fact, I think the Lunar Duo do a good job explaining the difference. So in-universe, plenty of folks know about the legend of Cresselia, but they were blindsided by the existence of Darkrai. There may have been whispers about its existence, but far fewer people believed in Darkrai than in Cresselia. Out of lore, there's a reason too. You can catch Cresselia in Diamond and Pearl by default, but you had to wait for a real-world event to distribute Darkrai. That's a major defining difference. According to the now archived Japanese Pokemon website in 2014, mythical Pokemon are, quote, a special Pokemon that cannot be obtained through normal play. Up until now, they have been presented in special ways, such as presents to visitors at movie theaters. The first mythical Pokemon given was Mew. Sometimes the events are simply, here's a code that gives you the Pokemon, but more often the codes gave you an item like a boat ticket, and then the boat will take you to the mythical Pokemon in-game. By distributing Pokemon this way, far fewer people are able to get these Pokemon, making them the rarest of all. They are not just legends, but myths. Though sometimes in later generations they'll make older mythicals catchable, see Deoxys. While researching this, I found some very passionate fans on forums declaring that Deoxys is no longer mythical, and anyone who thinks so is dumb and stinky. Why the status change? Well, because you can just get Deoxys in the post-game Delta episode of Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I suppose that would also explain Deoxys' absence from that mythical artwork, except no, that art came out before Oraz. But if you'd consider Deoxys legendary and not mythical because of that, you'd also have to do the same for Celebi, who's obtainable normally in the Virtual Console version of Pokemon Crystal, Magearna, who's just there in Ultra Sun and Moon, Arceus, Manaphy, Phione, Shaman, and Darkrai in Legends Arceus, and many more. So I don't think being available normally in later games should detract from their mythical status. And actually, I really don't think that should be a definer anymore at all, because Pecharunt is a mythical Pokemon. It's defined as such in the code, which they almost always have been, by the way. But fun fact, in Sun and Moon, Shiinotic was accidentally labeled as a mythical Pokemon. But yeah, Pecharunt was both introduced and is fully catchable in Scarlet and Violet's DLC normally. Sure, it's like the last Pokemon you'll catch while there's still plot, but it's just there. Anyone who finished the DLC will have one. So them being event-based as their definer no longer applies. eyes. But that said, I do think Pecharunt still does fit the in-universe explanation. Very few people in Kitakami were really truly aware of what Pecharunt was or is, or that it's just sleeping at this lady's shop. But all of them know about the Loyal Three and Ogre Pawn. It's their village's local legend, thus them all being legendary while Pecharunt is mythical. Same logic I think could apply to Keldeo too. The legendary Swords of Justice trio are based on the Three Musketeers who, fun fact, actually have a fourth member. Not everybody knows that because they are called the Three Musketeers. That and the fourth joined much later, but that's Keldeo, the fourth of the three, the one few people know about, so it's mythical instead of legendary. And then you get Phione! Gosh! It comes from a special egg from the mythical Manaphy, but its status as a mythical or legendary is debated even in official sources that contradict themselves. The official Heart Gold and Soul Silver strategy guide states that it is not legendary at all because it is obtainable through an egg. Pokemon Ranger Guardian Science doesn't give it the mythical classification, and when the Japanese Pokemon Daisuke Club mystery file did its piece on all mythical Pokemon, it emits Phione too. Pokemon Bank gives all mythical and special legendary Pokemon a special shiny background, but Phione doesn't get one, meaning it's not even a legendary according to it. In the Mystery Dungeon Explorers games, you can just find several Phione, but Phione also has special exclusive items just like the mythical and legendary Pokemon. And then in Super Mystery Dungeon, Hoopa only summons other legendary and mythical Pokemon, including Phione! It's also listed as one in the Pokemon 2011 Style Guide. But then, Pokemon Home disallows the trade of mythical Pokemon, and trading Phione was possible at first, but then after an update it wasn't, so maybe, I guess they fixed it, but that just shows that even Pokemon's offices are confused about this. So, I'd say it is mythical, but maybe a subcategory if we had to define it? A new circle in our Venn diagram. Pseudo-mythical? Perhaps simply not as special, but within the mythical circle? I can totally see that. I mean, there are tons of them. People know about them, and you can breed them to get more. You can also breed Manaphy to get them, but you'll never get another Manaphy. Manaphy is a very rare, very special Phione. Perhaps it is the mythical Phione. Perhaps in a similar way to Deoxys being a mythical variety of Carbink.
Fun fact time!
While the term mythical was adopted much later, the concept of them as super rare illusory monsters was in the original Capsule Monsters pitch document for the game. Satoshi Tajiri was thinking about them before he even had the funding to make the first Pokemon games. The document had no pictures of it, but it did have a code name, Green Dragon, with the idea being that it was extremely rare and would take hours to catch. That just sounds like shinies before the idea of shinies. But honestly, when it comes to this debate, if you can call it that, it's all just semantics. None of this really matters, and the discussion can quickly devolve from fun to contentious and annoying. So please be nice down there in the comments, especially when pointing out how even my in-universe definition of mythical doesn't work for Celebi. Like all the locals know about Celebi, there's literally a shrine in the forest for it. People go there to pay respects. Sounds like a legendary to me, which I guess it is also if you consider mythical a subcategory of legendary, like I do. What's not so mythical is all of the legendary brain building you'll get from today's sponsor, Brilliant. You know me, I'm smart, or at least I like to think so, but once you're done with school and you're working a job you're not fond of, well, if you don't use it, you lose it. I love brain exercises, which is why I love Brilliant's interactive lessons. It's much easier to learn by doing than just by listening, especially for me, and especially when dealing with advanced concepts like engineering, physics, calculus, and especially understanding how LLMs work. Like, I was a computer science major in college, but LLMs? How? I feel so much better now actually knowing how they work. No, understanding how they work, as the lesson setup and interactivity make sure you understand it. They also feature lessons on logic, programming, applied science, and too many things to list really. Test preparedness too. Brilliant is excellent for students who want to up their game, even on the go. Right now they're offering everything they have for free for 30 days. Simply visit the link below, brilliant.org/Loxton, or scan this QR code on screen, where you'll also get 20% off of the annual premium subscription. That's essentially 2.4 months free. Yeah, I did the math. I use Brilliant.